Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them, and I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We're continuing our run to Captain America 350. We're almost there. I started with Captain America 321, and now here we are on 345 from 1989. Um, this issue is very dense. It's very good. Mark Gruenwald really did the best he could with Captain America. You can see how much he cares, and this is a great issue. So we have both Captain America and the Captain on both. Of course, Captain America during this time is John Walker, and the Captain is, of course, Steve Rogers. And one captured by the Commission, and one captured by his old team. So Surrender is on the cover here, and Ron Friends is the cover penciler. And so here we go. Like I said, this is a very good issue. So, first things first, Captain America John Walker is asked to go arrest Steve Rogers for impersonating and continuing this. He's not supposed to be doing that, and the Commission, of course, doesn't care what they don't want him. So they're saying he assaulted the president, which of course he did not. That was in the previous issue, and John Walker actually doesn't believe it either. So Mark Gruenwald is our writer. Kieron Dwyer pencils. Alan Milgrom is the inker. And then Ralph Macchio and Tom DeFalco do the editorial. So we continue here. We get a basically everything that's been happening with the Snake and with the Viper here. This was the president. And so I'll skip over this part here. Oh, not this part here. So Steve Rogers took her to the police and then left. So that was 3 days. So they believe that he's in Washington and he won't leave without D-Man and Nomad, who happen to be in jail. They've been captured by the Commission along with Diamondback. And so they've been questioning and nobody's cracking. And so John Walker says, I don't believe a word he said, but, orders are orders. And Battlestar is like, are you scared to fight him? And of course, they've already met back when John Walker was the super patriot. Him and Captain America went at it, and he says, it is what it is, but he's an incredible legend. And Battlestar says they still have some unfinished business with that mutant resistance group, and he would like to finish that before going on this mission. Meanwhile, in the Lincoln Memorial, we've got the captain meeting the Falcon here. The Falcon has to go back to Harlem. He says, everything I've tried to accomplish there as both Sam Wilson, social worker, and as the high-flying Falcon will become permanently unglued. And so he apologizes because he knows that he could use the help. So they shake hands, and off goes the Falcon. So the Falcon has been around for like 10 issues almost consecutively. So the National Guard is looking for Steve Rogers, and there he is right here. And so basically all these thoughts are just giving recaps to everything that's kind of happened here. You can see that he leaps into the back of Lincoln. And then when the guy leaves, he's like, I need to change to civilian clothes because I can't stay dressed like this. So, all right. Now, We are at John Walker's mom and dad's house. Look at how little this house is compared to um it's just the scale. It's a tiny house when you look at the size here. All right. So all these are reporters asking him about John Walker being Captain America, and he continues to deny it because he says he would have told us. And so the mom is like, hey, we called the sheriff to get him out here, and so they're gonna get some protection. So they go inside, and they don't believe that he is Captain America, but his old group get them here. And this guy here says, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Walker. If you both keep very quiet, no one will get hurt. And so here goes Captain America and a Battlestar. And they're saying they got all hands on deck to go find Steve Rogers. And there's a news report here about the Walkers being kidnapped. And of course, that does not make John Walker very happy. He's like, Ma and Pa. So he calls the commission. He's like, I need to go save my parents. And then they're like, they don't let him. He's like, what is that? And then he busts the phones here. And he's like, they're not going to let you go. He's like, it doesn't matter. I'm going anyway. And so Battlestar says that he'll handle business and he will cover for Captain America. Real quick, I just in Kieron Dwyer, just look at how the style already in the late 80s, the Jim Lee Todd McFarlane effect, and we've got the slashes here, tick, 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 all over. So I call that the Jim Lee the Jim Lee Todd McFarlane effect. All right. So in the jail, D-Man and Nomad don't get along. Actually, it's not D-Man's fault. Nomad's just a jerk. And so they're like, hey, Sidewinder's going to get us out. And so speaking of that, he shows up with Vagabond, who's the girlfriend of Nomad. And so he's going to get them all out. They continue with exposition, kind of giving us everything that's been going on. Part of it is that's what makes this issue so wordy. It's a lot of exposition here. So Sidewinder, like I said, is going to get them all. She says, hey, get Nomad first. And so they does. He's kind of a jerk. All right. So Steve Rogers shows up to his parents' house to go take a look. And he thinks about his dad. The phone rings. And of course, they say, Walker, is that you? He says, yes. Want to see your folks again? Yes. Here's what you do. Now in Washington, D.C., Captain America gets a message from that hotline of his from Nomad. So he's going to go check it out at this bar. And there he is. And he's already drunk here. And he says, what's going on? Where's D-Man? And so he keeps calling him Dweeb-Man. He says, Dweeb-Man's in the slammer. So's my ex-chick, you know. Can you believe it, Steve? She dumped me for that muscle-bound ditz brain. And so Steve's like, hold on. I'm not sure I'm following you. You were in jail? How did Vagabond get here from upstate? And she said, that Snake Eye Sidewinder teleported her in. He's one who zapped Diamondback and me out of there. The big D wanted to play martyr and stay behind, not me. And then he's like, what precinct are they? And he's like, cops don't have them. The commission does. And so so Nomad is just a jerk. And so Steve says, I have a feeling they're just being used to get me. Guess I'm going to have to go get them out of there. And Nomad says, I got no use for either of those lamos, Steve, but if you want help storming those commission creeps, count me in. That's kind of pal I am. And so He's like, Steve says, I'm not going to storm the commission. I'm going to surrender myself and then negotiate their releases through legal channels. And Nomad's like, you're nuts. And then he's like, I thought you were a fighter. You've really gone soft on me. Only a jerk would go in there for any reason except to bust heads. I can't help you, anyone as far gone as you. You want to play the wimp? Go ahead. I'm out of here. Pick up my bar tab, okay? So, jerk. All right, so here we go. And this part here, they want him to admit that he's John Walker. He says, I'm not. I want to see them. Of course, that doesn't work. Eventually, they're going to unmask him here. And so he says he's going to play along until he can get everyone safe. They even... this is so... it's a little... but, you know, we're still in that era of comic books. It's still a little silly with the blindfold on. But, all right. Here comes Steve Rogers. He's going to go surrender. And this guy here is like, last time you were here, you left this chamber with your head held high, mouthing a few sanctimonious words. This time you stand before you accused of conspiracy to commit sedition, breaking and entering the White House, assault and battery against the president, aiding and abetting known felons, and failure to pay back taxes. Face it, Rogers, we've got you right where we want you. And so he thinks here, why does the commission have it in for me so badly? Was it a mistake to turn myself in? Were Nomad and Falcon right all along? Should I have aggressively opposed this people from the start? With all those trumped up charges leveled against me, have I walked into a fight I cannot win? Again, before I turn the page, just the all over. 'Tis the era. It's going to get even more. I mean, this is eventually going to be the new house style for both Marvel and DC. All right, so here we go. And so we're going to kind of move this along here. They're going to hang him. And so he says, Lamar's muscles, that be Battlestar, augmented neck muscles enabled him to withstand strangulation. I hope mine will do the same. And so he wants to see the walkers. And so, of course, here they come. And they put the noose on him. And, you know, the dad's like, what? Sorry about that. Had a little yawn here. And so, all right. Walker is going to see if he can get out here and use his mess power to break the beam, which he does. And he also gets off the cuffs and finally breaks and starts stomping at people. And it's going to get really bloody in a moment here because you're going to see here. So he uses him as a shield, throws him here. But you saw here, his parents get absolutely murdered. Just, and he is about to go, you can see he breaks this guy's neck off panel. You see the crack, grabs this guy gun and shoves it. This guy grabs him. He throws him here, breaks the post here. Look at this guy. This guy's got it through the head. Just absolutely, look at this. Grabs this, throws it at here. Captain America is just, and they're like, I better get out of here, but Cap's not going to let him out. And ouch. And he kills everybody. Look at this guy here. He's like, we threw him to the support beam, which are very tough. So everyone's dead. But John Walker starts talking. This is the last panel. We'll continue on next issue. But he's like, Ma, Pa, I did it. I beat all of them. Every last one. I saved you, didn't you see? Aw, shucks. Don't have to thank me. That's what sons are for. Yeah, I know I should have told you about my new job. Tell you what, I'll take you home and you can fix a pitcher of lemonade and we'll all just sit a while and talk. Dude has snapped. Absolutely heartbreaking. So, yikes. Um, yeah, goodness gracious. So, um, it's a little bit wow. I mean, uh, I'm just so I haven't read these in forever, and I'm just so shocked. Even though I saw this here, I'm going wow. So, Captain America 345, John Walker's parents getting absolutely murdered, and him kind of going a little bonkers. So, yeah, good stuff. Like I said, 5 issues left. We're going all the way to 350. I do have a playlist, as I mentioned. Feel free to check that out and catch up on everything. Like and subscribe. I do thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.